What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about a $750 hazard pay check that will be going out to one specific state. It's already been passed. The checks are coming. It's just a matter of time. So make sure you stick around for the end of that video or end of this video so you know which state is going to be sending those off. We're also going to address the Fed's FOMC meeting that is going to happen tomorrow. So that's something that's big. We need to really address that, so I want to talk about that. We're also going to talk about record high job openings and how Americans are quitting at a record pace. So a lot of this stuff is extremely important because this impacts our economy. So let's get right down to it. First thing is the FOMC meeting that's going to take place tomorrow. Now, the Federal Reserve is expected to raise rates. We know this. We also know they're expected to raise rates right about 2% for 2022. Right now, we are far from that. But economists are predicting that anything below 5% is not going to push down inflation, which creates a major concern as to should the Federal Reserve be more aggressive? Well, the expectation is they will be more aggressive. But if we see the Fed hike rates to 5% or higher, this is going to put some serious downward pressure on our economy. And I want to make sure you understand what this means. If there's a lot of downward pressure on our economy, that means businesses are going to stop investing into themselves, okay? Which means we could see layoffs. If we see layoffs, we could see people not be able to afford their homes, not be able to afford their cars, not be able to afford their current lifestyle. There'll be major changes. And if we continue to see these rate hikes a little bit more aggressively, this also means the stock market is likely to sell off, home values will decrease, and people's net worth will lower. What that means is they'll be less likely to spend, which would also put more downward pressure on our economy. So here's what we should expect tomorrow. The expectation is that we're going to see a 50 basis point rate hike. Now, we could see 75, we could see 1%, okay? We could also see a 25% basis point hike, but the expectation is going to be 50 basis points. That's what we know, okay? That's what we are expecting. And if it's anything else other than that, it would be a complete shock, especially if it's 1%. Even 75 basis points would be a complete shock to the market. However, it's not something that is completely out of the question, so make sure you are aware of what's going on. This will happen tomorrow, so we will see. I will fill you in on what's going on there because, again, this will be big. Now, the other thing that's really impacting our economy is the U.S. jobs, the openings that we currently have, the people that are quitting. Because just today it was reported that U.S. job openings climbed to 11.5 million positions just last month. This is a new record for open positions. And the troubling sign with this is that there's a lot of jobs open, but the American people keep quitting their jobs as well. And just last month, we saw that 4.5 million people quit their jobs. And this is happening for a bunch of different reasons. Now, this is the first time since the summer of 2021 that people quitting has topped 4 million people. But this is also the 10th month in a row that Americans are quitting at this rate. So that's what's troubling is that it's actually increasing at a faster rate. That's what's the problem. And just to give you an idea, so you have something to compare it to, before the pandemic, this number per month was about 3 million people. 3 million people would quit before the pandemic, and now it's up over 4 million. It's at 4.5, which is more than a 30% increase. Now that's substantial. Now, companies are finding that employees are quitting for a bunch of different reasons. One of the reasons is obviously for higher pay. The other one is for more benefits. Others, they want to work from home. Some want a change of location, change of scenery, right? There's a bunch of different reasons. But companies are saying that they will not fill all their positions because they understand that there will always be some turnover, or they don't want to have 100%, they don't want to have every single position filled because let's say a new person comes in, they don't fit that position well. The manager, the CEO, whoever, right? They could move that person over to the other position that's open, see if they fit that position, and just work them around in the company. That's why most companies do not fill 100% of their positions. They leave some open, and these are usually either entry-level positions, something where there's a little more leniency and a little more wiggle room here, but it is something that a lot of people are doing. So just keep that in mind. If you do apply for a position and you don't get it, just understand there may be a different position within that company that you could get as well. So just be aware of that. Now, I want to talk about this $750 hazard pay. And I want to talk about this because this is something that multiple states are looking into. Okay, and just to give you an idea, the state that passed this is Minnesota. This was initially proposed in Minnesota back in July of 2021. This isn't a new proposal. This isn't a new bill. This was originally proposed almost a year ago. It took almost a year to get approval and get this passed. So, in the state of Minnesota, frontline workers will be getting $750 each person. This bill was actually signed the other day. It's going to provide more than 600,000 residents with this new stimulus money. Now, in order to get this money, you must apply for it. However, this was just passed the other day, so obviously details are still coming out. I will fill you in on those details as we get them. But the expectation is that between now, the initial application process, and the payout, it's going to be anywhere between 10 to 12 weeks away before you get the check. So just keep in mind that it is coming, and it should be here within the next 3 months. Now, here's who would be receiving these checks. These checks would go to all frontline workers who worked over the past 2 years in any of these fields. Okay, I'm going to provide you with a list. There's long-term care and home care, health care, emergency response, public health, social service, regulatory service, courts and correction, child care, food service, retail, that's big, retail, temporary shelters and hotels, building services, public transit, ground and air transportation services, manufacturing, and vocational rehabilitation. That is huge. Okay, that covers a wide range of workers. Normally when you hear hazard pay and frontline worker, you get police officers, firefighters, EMT. That is it. Some even throw in county workers. That's it. There's no retail, there's no food service, there's no child care, there's no manufacturing. Those are all from Minnesota. That is incredible. Now, here's something that I think is also very good as well. This is something that multiple states are considering, and they have been considering this for some time, is to provide hazard pay or bonus pay or frontline worker pay, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter, right? But these are the people that have really kept the economy afloat over the past couple of years. They should be rewarded in every single state. But again, it takes time. It takes a lot of time because, again, this was just proposed. Okay, not just proposed. This was proposed back in July of 2021. And almost a year later it passes. But again, these checks aren't even the same amount. Get this. These checks are almost double what was proposed back in July of 2021. So not only did you have to wait to get the check, but you're going to get more. The nice thing about this is, again, multiple states are considering this exact same thing. So I think that's interesting. I think that's it's looking up, right? It could potentially be coming to your state. So just understand it is going to take some time. But do me a favor, let me know what state you are watching from down in the comment section below, because I'm putting together this big list. I have been doing this for some time to see where everybody's watching, because I want to provide you with the most up-to-date and relevant information. And if you don't live in Minnesota, obviously it doesn't really impact you today, but the good news is that multiple states are looking into this. So if you could, do me a favor, let me know where you are watching from down in the comment section below. Also, do me a favor, make sure you go hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an update, and I'll see you guys on the next one.